The national economy of Ukraine is in a state of collapse. The welfare system is unable to help those in need. And 500,000 Jewish people live here. Without world Jewish relief, the very young, the infirm and the elderly would have nowhere else to turn. In every city, hundreds of homeless and hungry Jewish children endure squalid, miserable conditions. Away from the authorities and away from the freezing weather, they hide wherever they can. In winter, many live in the basements and sewers beneath the tower blocks. Anton and Angela live by this leaking sewer. They use the space as a bedroom, a living room, and a toilet. They even eat here when they can. Children like these are often infested with lice and carry debilitating diseases. Tuberculosis is endemic. If they live long enough, their future is likely to be one of ill health, crime, and vice. It's diabolical.
I ran away from children's home number 34. It's a home for mentally ill children. They tried to do disgusting things to me, but I wouldn't let them touch me. We beg on the streets. It's not so bad, except when the weather's really cold.
Anton and Angela are not alone. Thousands of Jewish children end up begging on the streets. They live in fear of being arrested by the police. The police, like most workers in Ukraine, have not been paid for over 6 months. They will charge money for a child to be released. Time behind bars is a normal way of life for many children. With your help, it doesn't have to be like this. World Jewish Relief can save children from the streets. At the Jewish orphanage in Odessa, we help children to receive warm clothes, hot meals, comfortable beds, and a good education.
I like it here. We play different games and we're taught new ones. My favorite meal is chicken.
When we visited in 1996, we saw why your help was needed. Then, Vovo was a shy, retiring boy whose prostitute mother was in prison. Neglected and scared, he had survived on the streets by stealing. Today, he is much happier.
I like to run around and play with all my friends. At school, I'm good at maths.
In 1996, following years of neglect and abuse, Anya was lonely and withdrawn. Now, at the Jewish orphanage, she enjoys a real childhood with good friends. After his stepfather's continual beatings, Jonah was in need of an operation to save his eyesight. Now with his eyesight restored, he is able to tell us how good he is at basketball and how proud he is to wear his new suit for Shabbat. This year, we bought 3 mobile welfare centres, and we now make hundreds of visits every month to these distant regions. The vans are specially equipped to deliver food parcels, medical equipment, warm clothing and general welfare. They are not cheap, but without them, many infirm people would not receive any help at all, such as Devora and her mother Rachel Lieberman. Devora has muscular dystrophy. At 39, she's unable to go outside her mother's doorstep. She desperately needs a wheelchair. This will help her get to her mother's bucket outside. It's better than the one she uses inside.
Of course I would like a normal life. We have no good times. We have no friends here because we're Jewish.
New mobile welfare centres help us to reach elderly people who have become prisoners of their medical conditions and who are also desperately in need of daily food and care, like Anna and Igor Grunberg. Anna has been confined to bed for a year and a half. Igor hasn't been out of bed for 3 years.
I fell down and broke my hip and my leg. I can't afford an operation, so I'm stuck in my bed. I need $1,500 for the operation. Then I'd be able to walk again. It's so frustrating. This is how I live. This is our soup. It has to last us 3 days or even 4. I heat it up on this stove top. Or we have tea, you see. I have 30 grivnas pension a month when I get it. That's 2 potatoes a day. But if I eat, I can't afford medicine or painkillers. And I'm in such pain. I only want to look after my husband.
I worked for 63 years for the factory. 3 years ago, I went totally blind from an operation on my cataract. I also had a bowel problem, so I have this catheter. We haven't enough money, and I need $1,700 for a proper operation.
The most terrible thing is for us to be left alone. One neighbour used to help us, but one day she stole everything valuable and left us helpless. We were abandoned, alone, hungry and dirty for 2 weeks. Now we have another neighbour. The most difficult thing is to ask her to empty the toilet bucket. We have to pay her 1 grivna every time, so we don't ask her too often. Anyway, it's degrading and disgusting. We sit on it with these sticks.
Thank you for coming, and thank you to all the Jews in England who are thinking of us. We need your help, then maybe we will survive.
Anna and Igor's world is one of never-ending misery. Perhaps the few minutes we spent with them and the possibility of home care provided by your support will give them the hope they so desperately need. At least £1 million is needed to help reach out to the huge numbers of Jewish people who live in the grim poverty of the Western Ukraine. Whether on the streets or isolated in their homes, these Jewish people have nowhere else to turn.